Hey, cooking with SonicBlu today, and we have a recipe for you. We are going to do some Oriental General Tso's chicken. Now, I know what you're thinking. Boy, I love going to the Chinese restaurants and getting a lot of that General Tso's chicken, and I have to go there and get General Tso's because it's impossible to make in the kitchen. Wrong. You can make it in the kitchen too, and it's just this simple. But the problem is, we have a house full of people, and a house full of like 6 or 7 people. You're going to have to increase your ingredient allotment. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to make General Tso's chicken that you can just use for yourself or 2 or 3 other hungry people. And the recipe we're going to follow, we're going to multiply it by 6. But you don't have to at home because it's very complex with all the ingredients. So look at all these ingredients we have. For instance, we have green onion cut about, let's say 1 inch to 1.5 inches long. That's about 2, 4, 6. There's supposed to be 8 stalks there, but I only used 6 because that's all we had. But it's still good enough for this purpose. Now we're using about 6 to 7 pounds of this is boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Always use chicken thighs for this because it's always the best chicken to use. We're going to be using 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 8. We're going to use 18 cloves of garlic, but for you people at home, it's only 3. We are going to use 6 tablespoons of shredded ginger. That's fresh ginger root. Then we have 6 tablespoons of white vinegar. We're going to need 6 eggs, but we have 2 to start us off with. Here is 6 tablespoons of sesame oil. Now remember, multiply everything we're doing by 6, and then you just take whatever we're doing here and reduce that, and that's what you would make over at home. And we have the actual recipe for download if you want to download the recipe just for yourself. But remember, we're a lot of hungry people here, so we're going to need all the ingredients that we can. This is 6 tablespoons of cornstarch and 6 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. Now this is a very thick sauce that you can find in any Asian market. Just look for it by name, hoisin sauce. And 6 tablespoons of sweet soy. And it's the thick soy sauce that is also very, very delicious. And over here we have 1.5 cups of chicken broth. You only use 1/4 cup. So you multiply that by 6, you get 1.5 cups. See how easy math is? And I hate math, I am no mathematician. But let me show you exactly how to make General Tso's chicken right
How much
here.
sugar you got there?
Oh, sugar, yes. We got 12 tablespoons of sugar. That's 2 tablespoons per serving. So we got 6 servings here. That's 12. Now we're also going to need a wok. And for this amount, you better have a wok. And if you don't have a wok, a large skillet will do. We're also going to use 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yeah, I already mentioned this. 18 cloves of garlic. We're going to just spoon that out as we go.
And that's our extra eggs.
Chicken. And, of course, our extra eggs for coating the chicken in the egg. Now, we also have 6 cups of flour. Now usually a pound of chicken and 1 cup of flour will coat your chicken beautifully. And we're going to take the chicken, we're going to deep fry it until it's a golden brown, and we're going to use this fry daddy for the purpose. So let's go ahead and get that prepared by plugging it in. And while we're doing that, we're going to work on putting our sauce together. And for that, we're going to need a big bowl, like that one over there. Now what we're going to do, and of course you need some cooking oil too. So, because we're already got sesame oil, we're not going to use sesame oil to do our sauteing, and we're going to have to saute this, and the garlic all together before we put our sauce into it. But first we got to make the sauce, and that's what this bowl is for. So let's make our sauce by taking hoisin sauce and just drop it right down in there. And use something to scrape it off too, get as much of that out of there as possible. Okay, that's about all I can manage. Maybe a little bit more. This stuff is real good too. And this is the base of General Tso's chicken. Hoisin sauce. Gotta love it. It has a lot of uses too. Then we're going to go after our sweet soy. Add your sweet soy to it. Now you won't be adding any salt to this because there is plenty of sodium in these 2 ingredients here. You won't even need salt.
That soy sauce is kind of considered the salt of Oriental cooking.
Pretty much, yes. Very salty stuff, so you don't even need to add any salt because that's how good this stuff is. Now once you've gotten all that sweet soy, as much as you can get out of that bowl there, discard the bowl and move on to your next ingredient, which will be the broth. Let's just dump the broth right in there. There we go. Now, we're going to also need the cornstarch.
Cornstarch is also very useful because it's a thickener.
Yes, it's a thickening agent, a natural thickening agent for your foods. Have you ever done the cornstarch water test?
Yes.
Yep, we've done that in science school.
That was very cool.
Science class. All right, so give your already existing sauce here a good stir. Well, what do you say before we add the cornstarch? Let's add all of our liquids first.
Sounds good.
There's your vinegar. I'm going to add the vinegar in. And
sesame oil.
The sesame oil. Whoa, now this is going to be real good. Now see, you don't need to add any extra sesame oil because you get plenty of it in your sauce. And just stir that up really good. Discard the bowl. Go for your sugar. Now, we're going to need to stir this as we pour the sugar. That way it gets dissolved and it doesn't clump. Give that a really good stir. And if you want to, you can use a whisk too. That'll help break everything up. As a matter of fact, I'll probably do that when I have the cornstarch. Now, it's really starting to smell like General Tso's chicken, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed. But it's not quite there yet. It's not quite spicy enough to give you that kick.
And it's also not thick enough.
Right. It's also not thick enough, but
that's where that comes in.
That is where this comes into. So we're going to grab our whisk, and we're going to slowly whisk our cornstarch right into the sauce to help thicken it up a bit, and to also give it a nice opaque color to your sauce. And just dump the rest of that in there. We'll be stirring this for a while. Okay, that's about as much as I can get out of there. Really stir this in good. Make sure all of your clumps are broken up, and if it isn't, just do like this number here. Until all your clumps are stirred in as best as possible. And now it's starting to really look like General Tso's sauce. Okay, now let us set our sauce aside because this is all we're going to need to do with it. And if you got a few clumps here and there, don't worry about it. The heat will help break the rest of that up. So we're going to set this stuff to the side while we work on coating our chicken. Ooh. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take little at a time. We're going to take this bowl and we're going to use this to coat it with. All 6 cups. And we're just going to take some chicken, just drop it in like this. Use a spoon like this to kind of help coat it in. Fill this thing up as much as you can with 2 eggs. Start off with 2, and if you need any more, then you can always break some more into this bowl and repeat the process, but make sure you got enough chicken in there.
We are going to need another bowl.
Not necessarily.
Are you going to put them straight into the fryer?
We are going to take them right from this bowl into the flour, and we're going to use the same spoon to cover the flour and the chicken to make sure that it all gets coated and it's ready for the fryer. Now it's best to have another large bowl, but we have a shortage of bowls right now, so it's always best to have a large bowl if you're working with this amount of chicken. Give it a little shake like this. In fact, you might not even need the spoon. Just give it a shake until everything is covered well with the flour. And that should do it.
Very nice.
Yes, indeed. Now set that down. Come over here to the fryer. We could actually take some paper towels. Let's go ahead and lay out some paper towels and then set our chicken aside on it. And then it will be ready for the deep fryer. That way we can, when we pull them off, we'll be able to set them right back on there. Now remember, wet hand, dry hand. Do not mix the two up. Your dry hand will retrieve your chicken pieces from the bowl. Your wet hand will retrieve the chicken from the egg. So that way your flour does not clump up too fast. So the dry hand stays dry, the wet hand stays wet, and you pretty much know the math. Now if it's not all coated, just use your hand and just give it a nice good stir like this. Make sure it's all coated. And this is a surefire way to make sure that all of your chicken gets coated. And if you find that it's not coating, then use less chicken. It's very simple. So, that's the starting point of getting our chicken ready. And thanks to Movie Magic, we can actually show you the results of this in an instant. Ready? Point the camera down here. Okay. Now, we can show you in an instant how Movie Magic really works. You see the chicken there? This is our first batch. Now watch this. Alakadabra, alakazam, and give me more chicken with a touch of my hand. And look at that! All of my chicken is breaded. Isn't Movie Magic great? All I need now is a bowl. I love Movie Magic!
You're a wizard.
I am. Now, we're going to take this bowl.
What did you do with the bowl?
I don't know. I didn't do anything with the bowl. It just... Strange things are afoot in the kitchen of SonicBlu. Okay, now before this disappears, what we're going to do, I'm going to take all this breaded chicken and place it back into the bowl. Very carefully, because this is a lot of chicken that we had to kind of pile up over here, so let's kind of take it piece by piece, little by little, until all of this chicken, give it a little shake here, until all of this chicken here, and look at that, amazing, it's in the bowl all by itself. Don't you wish that it would work this easy in your kitchen? Well, it doesn't work that easy in our kitchen, so we had to do a lot of Movie Magic. And if you, a little tidbit of a tip, if you work with this much chicken, you're going to need counter space, because too much chicken piled up on top of each other will make this stuff very gloopy and gloppy. So, we're going to cook this a little at a time and make sure that we don't run into the same mistake again. Take some of your chicken, as clumpy as it is, and I hope this turns out okay, but if it doesn't, we just don't have the facility to do this big of a meal. So, into the fryer it goes until it's golden brown. Do a few pieces at a time. Don't overwork yourself.
And be careful, you're working with hot oil.
Yes. And that's a grand tip for even SonicBlu to follow, because I can handle heat, but this is too much. Okay, so let that chicken just cook the way it is there. And we're going to get our deep fry spoon, which is this thing. And we're going to give it a little stir. Now, it doesn't take long to cook this. And it might actually look like popcorn chicken by the time this is ready. And you might notice that the oil does need to be changed. Good rule of thumb, always keep clean oil in your deep fryers. And if in case you don't have a deep fryer, then use a large skillet and put oil in it, just enough to where all of your chicken will be covered. And make sure you do cover your chicken when you fry it. But we will only cook this chicken for just a little bit until it's nice and golden brown. Which, of course, the dirtier your oil gets, of course, your chicken is going to turn golden brown a lot quicker. But it actually doesn't look too bad.
It looks pretty good.
So, keep on working this around. Make sure it doesn't get too clumped together. And just let that fry. And we're going to repeat the process for however much chicken that we have. So once that's done, it's going to go right here onto the clean paper towel. Hey, that is a clean paper towel.
Yes.
Isn't magic wonderful? It even cleaned the paper towel for us, because that thing was loaded with lots of moist flour and egg and chicken juice and all that stuff. So I love Movie Magic. Now, we'll keep the camera rolling just to give you an idea, a basic idea of what your chicken will look like when it's finished, because like I said, it doesn't take very long to cook, and realize that we need it just enough to where it's crispy enough that the breading will not fall off when you mix the sauce into it. And we're going to do a little bit at a time, so that way everything gets cooked together.
And the bigger the meal, the longer it will take.
And the more space you will need in your kitchen, and not to mention equipment.
True.
And we just don't have the facility to make this big of a meal, but we're trying.
Fry it up really nice.
Yeah, it is. I'd say that's just about almost ready to come out of there already.
Just about.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and pull this out. Look at all of this chicken we managed to cook up. This is going to be our General Tso Chicken, and that's when when you pull it out of the deep fryer, it looks just like that. Now, for the magic of putting everything together, we're going to take our little cooking oil, and we're just going to give it a dollop, kind of like that, just enough to saute all your vegetables. And what we're going to do is we are going to be turning this on to high, get this really, really cooking. And you don't have to season the wok this time because we've got plenty of sesame oil going on to here, and we're just sauteing vegetables. Now if we were cooking chicken in here, then yes, season your wok, but not this time. This time we can have it dry because we're going to use the oil to saute our veggies. And we got our green onion, we got our shredded ginger, and we have 18 cloves of garlic going into all of this mixture, and it's going to turn into General Tso sauce. So we will be using one of these guys to stir it with. And when this oil gets ready to go, we're going to drop our vegetables in. Now, since we got a lot of chicken and a lot of sauce, we're going to make up the sauce as we go. First, we're going to saute all of our veggies, and then we're going to take this, we're going to add it to the sauce, mix it in there, and then when everything is blended, we're going to take little bits of the sauce with little bits of the chicken and cook it a little bit at a time as we go along. And then we're going to have it serving on the side with rice, or you can actually have it on a bed of lo mein, which is really good, but we just don't have the time for that. So we're just using rice right now, and it's a very simple procedure to do because we know 1 part rice, 2 parts water, that equals rice. So that should be done when we're ready to serve. We're just waiting now for the oil to heat up, and it looks like we are getting a little bit of smoke going. So just kind of notice that, yeah, because smoke on metal is gonna smoke, but notice that the oil isn't as hot, so all of that steam that you see is coming from the outside of the wok because it's metal. This is pure metal to make that thing smoke like nobody's business, and it's also unprotected. It's not copper based. That's probably another reason why you're seeing a lot of the smoke. Okay, I think we're ready now. So we're gonna start by adding our green onion. There we go. Look at
sizzle.
That. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Now, let's add our ginger. And this is going to be really good. Then, we will add 18 cloves of garlic. That's about 3 right there. 3. That's 6. 9, 12, 15, and 1 more. It's about 18 there. 18 cloves of garlic going in. We'll put the garlic away now. And stir to saute all of this veg. Now you could make do with a lot more green onion, but unfortunately we just did not have enough, so that's what we're going to have to do. Now, what you want to do to properly saute all of your veggies, get it really good and sauteed until you see some golden brown in your garlic. And that's the proper way of sauteing your veg, and it's going to go right into that sauce over there. Now usually, if you're just making this at home, you would add the sauce directly into it and then add your chicken. But since we got a lot going on, we're going to have to mix all of this together and do it little by little. Because if you got this amount and you don't have the space, and you don't have the coordination, you don't have the room in your kitchen to do all this stuff, you're going to have to do it a little bit at a time. So what we're going to do is going to wait for this to properly saute, and then when we take this wonderful saute mix, we're going to add it to our sauce, mix it in real well, and then we're going to use a ladle to make sure that we catch the ginger, the onion, and the garlic, and we're going to drizzle it in, and we will add our chicken, and we'll do it along in servings, and hopefully we have enough sauce, but if not, we can always make more.
Oh, it's smelling good. I can smell it upstairs.
Oh, yes. Keep this moving because you don't want to stop moving it once you start. Remember, it's stir fry, not stir fry.
Demonstrate stir fry.
That's stir fry. You don't want to do that. Keep this moving.
It does smell good.
Yes, it does. Notice there's a lot of garlic in there. But if there was more green onion, you'd see a lot more green onion than garlic. You might have added a little too much garlic in there, but there's a lot of people out there that love their garlic, and this will be just perfect for them. Plus, you get a lot of other flavors going into this, so you're not going to taste just garlic, even though garlic will be the strongest flavor you got in here. But actually,
it probably should thin out when you get the when you add it to the sauce.
It should thin out. Not only that, but you also have ginger in here, and ginger will now be the dominating flavor because ginger is stronger than garlic. Not by much, but it is stronger. And this is what gives a powerful bite to the General Tso's chicken.
Now, at the restaurants, I've noticed that sometimes that there are some red peppers.
Yes, you can actually use red pepper in this mix as well. But that all depends on who makes it and what your recipe is. But if you want to add red pepper, you can. It just depends on what your taste is and also what your taste buds like to taste. And frankly, I can eat stuff that's been cooked with pepper, but I just can't eat straight pepper.
I love bell peppers.
So once you got all of this stuff sauteed up, you'll notice that your garlic will be turning a golden brown. And you can smell the mixture of garlic and ginger and onion all sauteing beautifully. Now that's almost about golden brown as you can get. So what we might have to do is kind of drain off a lot of this oil because we might have added a little bit too much for this, but just a dollop is all you needed, and I think I added a little bit more because I am making a ton of this stuff and I wasn't sure exactly how this would play. That is a ton of chicken. So keep your fingers crossed that we have enough sauce. And that rhymed.
It did rhyme.
Yeah. Keep your fingers crossed that you have enough sauce. Keep your fingers crossed that you have enough sauce. Rap with me. Keep your sauce in the... Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Wow. Keep sauteing.
Yeah. Don't quit your day job.
Yeah. That looks great.
Okay. Now that is what we call sauteing your veggies. Now, notice all that extra oil.
We have to get rid of that other one.
Yeah. Best idea to do that is to kind of shift everything off to one side and let the oil just run right down. Let it collect. If you lose some of the garlic, that's fine.
There's plenty in there.
There is going to be loads of garlic in here, so you're not going to be out by much. So let's take this over to the sink. And kind of push your oil out of your wok. Remember to push it away from yourself so that way you don't push hot oil onto your skin, your clothing, or anything else that you might contact with your skin.
Because this stuff can hurt you real bad, real fast.
And it will scar.
Yes.
So, now let's cook up the rest of this and let that rest of that excess oil kind of cook right back in. Just a little bit is all it takes. Okay. Now, let's add this stuff to our sauce. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to take anything that's excess, we're going to leave it in here because it'll all get mixed together. But we're going to try to clean this puppy out and make sure that all of your sauteed veg is out of your wok. Get out of my wok. Get into my car.
You have a car?
Get out of my wok. Get into my car. You know, I haven't sang karaoke in a long time. In fact, I haven't even sung in a long time. I think I still have it. Fingers crossed. Okay. Now, we're going to give this a good stir. And look at this General Tso sauce.
Turn around into the light.
Good idea. Now, we're using the same spoon that we used to stir our sauté. And look at this.
Beautiful.
That is General Tso sauce. Say it fast enough and you sound silly. Alright,
now some people like it a little bit more thicker than others.
Some people do. So if in that case, add a little more hoisin sauce and a little cornstarch. Take your ladle.
Ooh, sizzle.
Spoon about a couple of good ladlefuls. And then, take some chicken. A little off the top. Being careful because the stuff will get really hot. put in enough to where it'll fill the bottom of the wok, and I'll show you that when I get to that point. That should be a little few more. There we go. All right. Now, with your stirring spoon, which we have right here, we are going to turn this back on. This is probably why nothing's happening.
Yeah. It sizzled at first, but then...
Yeah, okay, because you basically have to wait until this is bubbling and boiling before you add your meat, but hopefully that we'll make sure to do that next time around.
Yeah.
So, actually don't do it like this because I did it wrong, but hopefully it doesn't change anything about the way it tastes.
Also cut that part out and start over.
Yeah, we can. Because we're supposed to cook this until it bubbles. Because that's when it really gets thick and ready for coating on the chicken. But this is just going to run right off. But anyway.
Should still taste the same though.
Should taste the same. Because what we want to do is when we cook it, the sauce will caramelize because of the sugar. The sugar and the cornstarch will help this stuff caramelize. Once it gets bubbling, then you're ready for your chicken, and you throw that in, and it'll just coat right along with your chicken, and it'll leave a nice, beautiful caramelized General Tso Chicken. The way this is happening, it's not happening yet until that sauce starts to bubble and boil. So let's go ahead and wait for that to happen. Keeping fingers crossed here, I got it turned up to a medium-high, so that way it will raise the temperature a little quicker. I should not have turned that off, but you know what? Being safe in the kitchen does mean making sure you have all your precautions in order. Now we're going to take an extra bowl, and we're going to put all of our finished chicken into this bowl. Okay, now, hold it. Now we're starting to see caramelization. You see that?
Yep.
It's starting to coat the chicken. That's what we want. So make sure that all of your caramelized sauce coats all your chicken to where...
See, now that's the thickness we're used to.
That's what you're used to seeing in General Tso's chicken. And the results will leave all of your guests breathless.
Wow, that looks great.
It does.
It smells good too.
Does it though? Now, there you go. It's all coated. Look at that. Now, I'm going to try... Look at that. That is what we call General Tso's Chicken. You see?
Looks like we had just enough sauce.
Yes. Make sure that it goes all the way around. Get as much of it coated as possible. And you will now be able to dazzle your family, your friends, anybody that you happen to be cooking for. If you don't even know the person, you will impress them. Hell, you can even open up your own Chinese restaurant with some of these recipes.
That would be fantastic.
Very possible.
That would be fantastic.
I could do it, but
Well,
I can't
you and I
because-
both.
Yeah, because of my injuries, I can't do much in the kitchen. All I can do is little spurts at a time. I had to take several breaks just on the prep work alone.
We took probably about
that doesn't mean
between
you
2
did
to
it
3
by the
breaks between the both of us.
And look at that. All of that sauce coated, all of that chicken
Wow.
just perfectly.
Beautiful.
We used the exact amount of sauce with the exact amount of chicken, and it all came together. Look at that. General Tso's Chicken. You can make this dish so easily in your house. And we're going to take all of this lovely chicken and join it with the rest of its brethren right here in the bowl. Look at this. Now, I bet you're all wondering, how does it taste? Well,
We're going to find out soon.
here's a little extra added bonus. When you serve your General Tso's Chicken, since there's a lot in there, what we're going to do, so before we serve it, we're going to take sesame seeds and top over the top of that with sesame.
Lovely.
Make sure it's all out of there. Good. Turn this off, and you are done making General Tso's Chicken. It took a lot of kitchen work. It took a lot of coordination. You will make a mess, but you will make a very beautiful meal. Take it from me. It is going to taste out of this world. And why do I say this? Because I'm confident about my cooking. So let's go get a plate.
And a taste tester. I'll volunteer.
You already got?
Yeah, his eyes are bugged out.
You already got everything. So let me go ahead and clear out some room here. First of all, release the steam from the rice.
Woohoo!
Release the beast of the rice. I'm going to give you a serving of rice. There's going to be plenty here for everybody, so...
See, I told you five
Yes, it did.
That's lovely.
Okay, first lay down your bed of rice.
That should be fine for a nice bed.
A little bit more. There we go. Nice bed of rice there. Now, add your chicken and get a separate spoon for that. Okay, very careful because this is filled to the brim and you don't want to spill any onto the floor. Look at that, General Tso's chicken. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Lovely, lovely chicken. And before you go dipping into it, I have a little surprise for you.
Ooh. Sake?
No.
Damn.
I wish. All right. We are going to reach in here.
It's kind of scary.
We're going to reach in for our toasted sesame seeds. And we're going to sprinkle sesame over the top of the General Tso's chicken. Just like that. And now, test subject Rune. Take a nice bite of that and tell me what you think of General Tso's chicken SonicBlu style.
I love SonicBlu.
It's very hot.
No duh. This is the sweeter, not the spicier kind. I like it.
Right, because of the sweet soy that we added.
Yeah.
That's right. But yeah,
It has a nice flavor between the garlic and the ginger. You do get a little bit of the green onion, and it's really good. There's just one thing missing from it.
Sake.
Yes. Well, that too. A little bit of soy for the rice.
There you go. And you can add regular soy sauce as
I am doing.
And I will probably do the same. I should have done with the peanut chicken, but I didn't. So I was busy.
Well, I tried it without the soy first, so.
There you go. But if you want to add soy sauce to this wonderful dish, you can. But remember that a little sesame seed goes a long way, especially with a dish like this.
And even with the sesame seed, it's quite lovely.
Yes.
Take a look at that piece right
That's
there.
beautiful.
Makes a very lovely presentation. And it'll taste great. So take it from your old buddy SonicBlu here. He knows what he's doing in the kitchen, even though he's never made this dish before, but we won't tell anybody. Shh, shh.
I didn't hear that.
I think you just did.
No, we didn't.
So, now, you know how easy it is to make General Tso's chicken. The same stuff that you get in the Chinese restaurants, and you're wondering, how can I have this in the home? Take it from me. Download our recipe at www.ohiopoppets.org. Go to the archives page, and you can download this wonderful recipe to make it at home. It's very sweet. For a little extra spicy kick, you can add the peppers. But all in all, it didn't turn out too bad.
It's better than the restaurant.
I wouldn't really say that. Restaurants is actually a lot saucier.
Yeah.
But like we said, if you like it saucier, make more sauce. But the combination of ginger,
And garlic.
green onion, and garlic will give you that little bit of a kick that you're looking for in your General Tso's chicken. Wolf Dog,
Okay.
it is now your turn to try SonicBlu's General Tso's chicken. Ha!
Wow, that's
Go ahead.
he has too much. He has too much fun with his dialogue, doesn't
The
he?
world is waiting.
And he can't say because he hasn't tried sage and peanut chicken.
Really?
That's true. He hasn't.
You're the only one that can
That's
say.
true because he was over in Utah when
Yeah.
we made it. That's right.
You're the only one that can say it.
I forgot about
either
that.
way.
Didn't you?
And there he goes.
Okay.
And how is it?
Actually, I like that.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. Well, it is a three-way good go get 'em, but we have yet to ask what Sajin thinks.
Ah,
All
crap.
taste tester returns in trying this wonderful recipe. You've seen everybody else,
They're going to torture me. This is what I have to put up with.
Okay.
and we're going to make sure that you relive this moment forever.
All right.
Let's continue now. You know how this works. Beautifully coated General Tso's chicken.
It looks beautiful.
It does.
It really
Look at
does.
that.
I mean, it looks like it came from the restaurant.
Yes, it did.
All right, here we go.
Here we
By the
go.
way, I love these chopsticks. They're cool.
They're definitely fitting. I like the pattern.
I like the pattern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
All right.
fits me.
Here we go. Ready for the world.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, take a bite.
Go.
And tell the world what you think of General Tso's chicken a la SonicBlu.
Da, 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 da,
It's probably the most disgusting thing I've ever had. I'm going to have to eat all of this to save you all.
That means he likes it. That means he loves this stuff and he doesn't want anybody else to have a taste.
Okay, I can't lie to anybody. Okay, it's fantastic. It really
Now,
is.
here's the ultimate question. What's better? Your peanut chicken or General Tso's? Because it is against you two, so you two have the final say.
I have the perfect answer for this, and it goes as such. I would like to have this on one side
and the peanut chicken on the other
side, because they would make a perfect dish together.
A perfect match made in heaven.
They would make a perfect dish together.
Or in Chinatown, depending on where you're at. But still, a perfect match in China itself on your plate. If you get peanut chicken and you get a little General Tso chicken.
It would be good. They would be good together. They really would.
They would. So, from all of us here in the kitchen of SonicBlu Darkful to all of you out there, we bid you adieu, sayonara, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, and happy cooking.
For complete recipes, send an email to sonicblu@yahoo.com. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you're not cooking good, you're not eating good. Bye for now.